this isn't a bad thing. Autism is actually fun because people like me can see things that others can't. And that's nothing to be afraid of.
If you're on the spectrum, it's a struggle, but I think it could also be a gift at the same time. Because you have a lot of creativity that goes into your music and into your work. But that's part of you, and I think sometimes the autism can be a gift for it, right? Like Mozart, Mozart was on the spectrum, and look at him, he's one of the greatest composers who's ever lived to this day and still is.
The thing that I get with autism is that people judge us in certain ways, like, oh, she has a disability because she has autism, but it's actually not true. Like, just because we have autism doesn't mean we're scary people. Like, that's what they tell you on commercials and stuff, and I never trust them because they're wrong. And as a singer, I love to sing. It's been part of me since I was a baby,
So Jazz Hands for Autism, we first started out with our concert. So we do have a concert coming up, November 19. So it first started out as a concert platform for, musicians or emerging and aspiring musicians who are on the autism spectrum. So we first started out as a concert platform. The next step was we started finding gigs because our musicians were saying, okay, I want to perform more than twice a year, which is how often we have our concerts. Then we started looking for opportunities in the community where they can perform outside of the Jazz Hands concert. In that process, we discovered, okay, our musicians there's some gaps in their skills. Like, so they have some areas where they would like to grow, basically. Areas like, knowing how to prepare for a gig, knowing how to, just kind of organize yourself right before a gig, knowing how to have your music, pick your song, send your song to this, and, just really preparing for a gig is a whole thing. So our response to that was to build a vocational program designed for musicians or aspiring musicians and emerging musicians who are on the spectrum and who had other neurodivergencies. And so it started with the concert, then finding gigs, then a vocational program to help them learn some of these skills. So the different kind of social skills, different type of professional skills, and of course, the technical musical skills. And that's the Jazz Hands Musicians Academy is our vocational program. So we have the concert, the academy, which then also, of course, the job seeking and the job placement, the job scouting, for different kind of gigs and different kind of job opportunities for musicians is tagged and is a part of that academy. Participants at Jazz Hands are able to, kind of learn how to be an onstage performer, or if that's not what they want to do, they're able to learn how to compose music if that's their choice. If not that, they're able to learn how to engineer music, so music, software, music technology. And if they don't want to do any of those three, there's also music pedagogy or music teaching. So the Jazz Hands vocational program, which is the Musicians Academy, teaches musicians who are neurodivergent how to turn their interest in music and their talents in music into an actual line of work. Yeah. And then we help them find internships in the community, and we help them find jobs in the community. Ideally, the goal is to find more paid jobs and volunteer opportunities and internships.
We are all on the spectrum when you really think about it, right? When it comes to neurodiversity, right? So our folks are on a different scale, right? So that's one thing that we want our potential employers to think about, is that they are no different than you and I. They may just learn differently. They may just learn at a different pace. And I think once folks get that understanding, then they, as the employers, will reap the benefits from employing someone who is on the spectrum.
people out there who are not going to let people like myself in the door for a job like that. Yes, I work at a record store. I'm very fortunate enough and very lucky and fortunate that there's someone at the place where I work at who's very accommodating and understanding and accepting to do that.
Well, I did get along very well with the people there. I worked for 2 months before I worked remotely from home, in which communications took place on formerly Google Hangouts, now called Google Chats. Hangouts no longer exists, and they were the ones who told me what to do in terms of my duties as a loan disclosure specialist, checking the status of the borrower, their social security number, their residence, their verification of employment, and the properties listed, which they themselves were involved with. And that's how it was done. And it was prospering the previous year and early this year until the economy all changed. And there were no raises, unfortunately, which I thought there would be. I worked until last month when I was laid off. I'm doing whatever I can in order to support myself, and at least there's a lot of people who are helping me do so. I've gone for interviews and other places, but unfortunately some had decided not to hire after all, or they hired somebody right away and so forth. So I'm keeping on trying with that. And yes, even through IFU and Jazz Hands for Autism, they're also trying to find full-time employment for me in either the following fields, either clerical or warehouse work, or delivery driving services, or data entry.
So we have our teacher training academy, and I'm the job coach within that classroom. So we have a teacher, Jason, and I'm the job coach that sits in on the one-on-one sessions. We also have a group session that we have many of the students. We've broken it up into 2 separate sessions. And then from that class, I realized that our students could benefit from a soft skills class. So I created this mini little soft skills class where we work one-on-one. I work one-on-one with the students on professional email etiquette, or we do creating goals for yourself, right? And using the SMART analogy, right? And so from those classes, we work those skills into the teacher training academy, where it's really worked out well. So it's grown, and they're better for it.
Well, for me, it gave me an opportunity to share my improvisations and songs and poetry, and maybe to try to find gigs, although I know due to COVID there have been very few gigs. But I want to try to expose myself, hopefully for pay.
I make a lot of friends here.
Yeah. Well, would you say that making music is a social activity?
Yes.
Yeah. So would you say that making music with other people like this enhances the experience of making music?
Yes, it enhances.
Yeah.
How does it enhance it? Like, what do you like best about making music with other people?
Making music with other people? I really don't know. It's fun.
Last year we also launched the Jazz Hands Junior Academy, because the vocational academy is for people with autism who are over age 18, so who have graduated high school and who are like looking for post-secondary opportunities to beyond work, beyond just going to work or being at home. So Jazz Hands kind of fills that gap, especially for those who have a creative interest in music. And then the Junior Academy is primarily for people with autism who are still in school, who don't have access to music education. So we're able to provide that either in home via Zoom, or if possible also in our studio, where they can learn music. Being that I've worked in many different schools that serve people with different disabilities and who have autism, people who have autism, there were not a lot of music programs. I mean, there's not really a lot of music programs in general in schools, and then that's even much more exacerbated for people who are neurodivergent. And then, not to nerd out, but there's a lot of research that shows that music may be a really, really powerful tool for learning different skills, including academic skills and also, like work skills, executive skills through music. And so if we're not making music available, then are we not creating a barrier for people who that may be a way that they're able to actually learn these things? So Jazz Hands, our response to that is by creating the Junior Academy to expose people who are younger, who are still in school, to music education. So we have the concert, we have the vocational program, the Jazz Hands Musicians Academy, we have the Junior Academy, and then we have our recently launched music library, which is also an extension of the vocational program, right? So like I mentioned, in the vocational program, we work with performers, people who are aspiring performers, aspiring composers, aspiring, music engineers, audio engineers, and aspiring music teachers. So the composers, with the music teachers, we have partnerships with schools where they can actually go in and learn how to teach in person in the classroom, and kind of develop their skills that way. For our, engineering students, we have partnerships with studios who are able to provide internships, for them to learn in person. For our performers, we have our concerts and we have like other, gigs, that we help them find in the community. But then what about the composers, right? What happens to their music, right? So our response to that was, okay, one area that our musicians, that we want to create avenues for our musicians is in the digital world, right? And so like we're always like looking into the musical environment and see, okay, how are people leveraging their skills to to make money or to be compensated? And one thing that we realized is okay, sync licensing is a big area that we would like our musicians to be able to get into, because a lot of them already have a lot of original music already. So how do we help them turn this into money that they can make, from their interests and their talents? And so that's how the music library came to be. The music library exists because we want to be able to create an opportunity for our musicians to be competitive in the industry. So we make it we make it very easy. It's a one-stop shop. So filmmakers, content producers, production houses, music supervisors, what have you, can go to the Jazz Hands Music Library and search by mood, by genre. But our goal is to keep as much money in the hands of our musicians as possible.
Y'all know my name. My name is Brandy. Been with autism for 6 to 7 years. I take classes and I am a vocalist. So come for the awesome concert, and I can't wait for you guys to hear my song and the group song that I'm closing out for the concert.
Hey, my name is Christian, and I'm here with Jazz Hands For Autism. Just did a great rehearsal. I played a little bit of my bass, a little bit of my singing. Of course, I did a whole lot of entertaining, of course, in here. So basically, if you want more of the doc,
just do all the entertaining.
Of course, and this, of course, and this.
I'm Faith Anderson, and I'm the friend of Christian and Brandy and everybody else that just left and everybody that's still here. Jazz Hands For Autism. As you were saying, Christian.
Basically, if you want to catch us at the concert, make sure to do it on November 19th. Make sure to be there November 19th. We are going to give a great show, and as everyone else here at Jazz Hands For Autism, make sure to catch us there. Get it, yeah.
My name is Lauren with Jazz Hands For Autism, outreach coordinator and executive producer of 3 Minutes with Ifu. We just had a great rehearsal. Everybody's jazzed up for our concert. Yes. I don't know.